Quick question for you. Have you ever walked into a house and thought, wow, this one feels great? And then walked into the next house and thought, dang, why does this one feel off? Even though on paper, they're basically the same. Same price, same size, and same neighborhood. Today, I want to talk about why that happens, and more importantly, the decisions that actually matter when you're touring homes, because most buyers focus on the wrong things when they're walking through a house. And that's how people end up loving a home on day one and regretting it 6 months later. What's up, guys? If you're new here, I'm John Rosick with the Provision Properties core team at eXp Realty. I help buyers navigate the Milwaukee market every day, especially first-time and move-up buyers. And this video is part of a series where we break down how to think about buying a home without overcomplicating it. This one is all about touring homes, not listings, not photos, the moment you're actually standing inside a house. Let's jump in. So let's start with the biggest one. When you're touring a home, the most important decision you're making has nothing to do with the paint, the countertops, or the light fixtures. It's the layout, because you don't live in photos, you live in the flow of the home. Ask yourself things like, does this layout make sense for how we actually live? Are we walking through rooms to get to other rooms? Is the kitchen connected to the space that we'll actually use the most? A beautiful kitchen doesn't help if you hate how the house functions day to day. And here's the key part. You can update finishes. You can't easily change how a house lives. If the layout feels awkward on a 15-minute tour, it's not gonna magically feel better after you move in. Trust that feeling. This is another thing buyers don't always expect. Natural light. You can't tell how a home feels from photos. Two homes can have the same square footage, but one feels bright and open, the other feels dark and heavy. When you're touring, notice where the windows are, which direction the homes face, how light moves through that space, and also pay attention to sound. Road noise, neighbor noise, floor cracks, that low hum from a furnace or nearby equipment. These aren't automatically deal breakers, but they are things you experience every single day. Photos won't show you that. Tours will. All right, quick reset here. If you've watched my other videos, you've probably heard me say some version of this before because it matters. When you're touring a home, there's a big difference between things that are wrong and things that just need a little elbow grease. I'm talking about stuff like paint you don't love, outdated light fixtures, older flooring, cosmetic wear and tear. Those things can feel distracting on a tour, especially when you're comparing homes back to back to back. But here's the reality. Most of that is weekends, time, and effort, not structural problems. Sweat equity is real, and a home that needs a little work but fits your life is usually a better long-term decision than a perfect-looking home that never really feels right. Don't confuse not updated with not a good house. One costs money, the other costs patience. So when you're walking through a home, it helps to mentally separate big issues from little ones. Little issues, loose handles, scuffed walls, old outlets, sticky doors. Big issues, roof age, foundation concerns, electrical systems, plumbing, furnace, and mechanicals. You're not expected to diagnose these on a tour. That's what inspections are for. But your job as a buyer is to notice patterns. One small issue isn't scary. A lot of small issues together can be a signal. Not always a deal breaker, just information. Now, I'm gonna say something I talk about a lot. When you're touring homes, the list price is not the decision. The monthly cost is. Because two homes at the same price can feel very different once you actually live there. Property taxes, utilities, insurance, maintenance. All of that affects how comfortable the home feels long term. The bank approves the loan. You're the one living with the payment. So as you're walking through a house, don't just think, can we buy this? Ask, Does this still feel good when life gets busy and expensive? One of the most overlooked parts of touring homes happens after you leave. Pay attention to how you feel in the car. Do you feel relieved, excited, calm? Or do you feel tense, rushed, like you're trying to talk yourself into it? A good home doesn't create pressure, it creates clarity. You don't need fireworks, you need confidence. So here's something I tell buyers all the time. A tour is not where you decide everything. It's where you decide, is this worth taking seriously? And does this deserve a second look? You don't need to know paint colors. You don't need to know furniture placement. You just need to know, does this home support our life? That's it. If you take anything from this video, it's this. When you're touring homes, focus less on what looks good and more on what will feel good 6 months from now. The layout, the light, comfort, monthly cost, and long-term livability. Those are the decisions that actually matter. Thank you guys for taking some time to watch this. If this was helpful, feel free to like the video or subscribe. I put out a new video every week. And make sure whatever move you make next, it's a smart one. See you next week.
Yellow diamonds in